Hi everybody, Jinxeekatt here with a couple of tips and tricks for getting OBS set up for you guys. We're just going to go through a couple of things that I think are critical to have if you are going to be casting an NGS Season 11, which helps you guys out. And then, if you want to use this information to stream, to do other YouTube stuff, whatever, you guys definitely can. But as far as starting out OBS Studio, we just thought we'd go over some audio balancing tips, thought we'd go over some scene stuff, some collection, source layering, all that good stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. If you want to have a scene set up that is, I personally think my scene setup is nice. If you want something like this, then we're going to teach you how to set that all up. So the very first thing we're going to do is teach you how to make a scene collection, because that is where you will keep everything for all of your casting needs. So as we go through here, I'm going to hit everything wrong and do it in the wrong order. We're going to go up to the top here where you can see it says Scene Collection. So we're just going to click on Scene Collection. We're going to hit New. Now, if this is your very first time using Studio OBS, you won't have anything down here. These are just my scenes for all the different stuff that I do with casting and with OBS. So there is a lot that you can't do. But for your very first one, you're going to hit New. It's going to ask you for the name. And then, yours could be NGS Season 10 or Season 11, casting, NGS casting, whatever you want to call it. For the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just going to go OBS 2.0 and then hit OK. As you can see, it's brought me to a brand new screen now. You have missed me. But if you go to Scene Collection, we are in this OBS 2.0 now. This is going to be your scene. So if this is your NGS casting scene, this is where all the magic is going to happen, where you're going to get everything set up. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is the audio. So what we're going to do to add some global audio so you can add scenes and never have to worry about adding it over and over and over and just muddling up your sources with audio is we're going to come up top here to this File button. We're going to scroll down to Settings, and then once we hit Settings, we're going to open the Audio tab. Now you can see here there are a couple of different audio options. The ones that we really only care about are going to be desktop audio and then mic and auxiliary audio. So for desktop audio, you're just going to pick whatever you use to listen to Heroes of the Storm. Mine is the Scarlet here. I suspect your choices will be different. You may not have as many. That's 100% fine. You're just going to pick what you want to use for your desktop audio. So again, mine is Scarlet. I'm going to click that. And then I'm going to come down here to mic and auxiliary audio. My microphone is on my Scarlet. So again, microphone from the Scarlet. And that'll set everything up for you guys. And it'll be all perfectly fine there. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply, hit OK. And now, as you can see, we have we have one desktop audio and one mic audio for 2 in total. You can see it's already picking up the sound of my mic coming through here in the bottom, and it is a little bit loud, so we're going to turn it down just a bit. We can just use this bar and just scroll it down to wherever you'd like it to be. As a rule of thumb for audio that I typically find to be the most helpful when you are talking normally, your voice should hit just right about where it gets to yellow. You can see mine's going into the yellow a little bit. That little dot is how high it has gotten just overall. So I'm going to continue to turn it down just a little bit more because we want to be in the green right on the edge of the yellow when we are talking normally. And if we're getting in our casting voice, forgive me, it's going to get a little loud. So if there's an exciting team fight and we're very excited and some hype stuff is going on, we're going to want it to be in that yellow there. You can see it gets a little bit higher there. So you just want to test it out and see where your audio is going to be. So make sure that if you're just talking normally like this, your bottom audio screen should be down here in the 1/2 to 3/4 mark for the green. If it hits the yellow a little bit every so often, that's okay. And then when you're talking hype, you want it to be kind of yellow to mid-level yellow. You never want to go into the red, because once you start going red, then the audio becomes distorted. It becomes just a really bad time overall. So yeah, that's just a rule for where you want to keep your audio at. You can move the slider down here. You can also go into the settings, go to advanced audio properties, where you can just change the volume here. Anything that works best for you. You know, I have mine at -10 right now. If you've got kind of a crazy microphone that picks up everything, you can adjust that accordingly to make it best for you. And then, of course, just close. You want to make sure it's active audio sources only so you don't hear just a weird echo down the hall. All that good stuff. So now that you have your audio there, we're going to test our desktop audio. Obviously, the best way to do that is just play something on the backside of your computer. You can see I have desktop audio coming through now, and it's about at the halfway point, which is perfectly fine for me. I have the audio at a very low sound right now, so you guys can hear me. So you typically want it to be around that 30 to 25 mark, keeping in the middle of the green. You don't want it to be too loud because it can obviously be overwhelming to your viewers. And if you have anything going on, whether it's the game sound, whether it's some other host you have, anything that you might have going on in the background, music, you don't want it to be louder than you. So just keeping it at this middle part here is a good place to keep it. So that's how you do your desktop audio and your mic audio. Once that's done, that's the most important thing. You can start to have some fun here. So now we're going to move on to scenes. The scenes are where we are going to add, you know, say your starting soon screen, your webcam screen, your in-game screen, all that kind of stuff. Those are going to be your scenes down here. Now you can see our very first scene. It's just this one called scene. So if you want to start with the first scene, you can just right click it and then it'll have all these different options. So if you just want to get rid of it altogether, if you want to rename it, we'll say this is our starting soon screen. You can rename it, and now we have our audio on here. We have our name of our starting screen. We can go ahead and make it. Your sources are going to be everything that goes in, so you can obviously see all the different icons and whatnot that you want to be on there. We can go down to this little plus and hit add. There are a ton of different options, and we'll go through them all. VLC video sources, actually where you can put music in, and then any kind of video. Text GDI, exactly what it sounds like. It's text. Media source is, again, like, for those of you who see my Storm Division or my NGS cast, I have these particles that spin. You add those. Images are just going to be that. Images, game capture, captures the game. Display capture is what I'm using right now. It captures your screen. So, you know, if you've got like cute puppy dogs and hats or something you're looking for in between games, people will see that if you hit it. So we're making our starting soon screen. The first thing we're going to want to do is an image. So we call this, and I don't know, this can be our background image. Like for mine, it's usually my NGS image, or we'll get started with like our purple image. So it can be in the back. You'll just hit OK, and then it'll bring you just to a standard browsing file where you'll browse that. It'll bring up all of your files. You can just go in, find a picture that works for you. For me, I typically use the Arcade Pop. So we can always just scroll through, you know, pick whatever is right for you. I'm trying to find it and not doing a very good job at all. But you guys get it. So pick something that can be our background. Perfect. And then, okay, now we have a background. It also works for dragging stuff in. So sometimes it can be a little finicky. So do this with a grain of salt. If we want to get everything set up, then we can just come through, grab everything that we want. Say, you know, we want to spice up the background a little bit. We can throw this in, just drag it in, it'll make your stuff. And you can see that this green blob is now on top of my purple background. If you look to our sources here, you can see there's my purple background that I added. On top of it is my green my green polyhedron there. If you want to, maybe say you wanted it reversed, if you wanted like your webcam on top or something, or a logo, then you can grab these, just move them, and now the purple is on top of that background green color there. Obviously, we can't see it, so we're going to move it like this. You are now layering your sources. Say there are other things you want to add. You can just go ahead and drag them in. So you can do it by hitting the image right there. Again, that's just the plus. Go up to image. It'll bring it through, and then you can select from your file. Say I want to add my logo. Once again, I can browse, go over to my sources here, find my logo, say it's I don't know, this Arthas here, hit OK. It comes up in the corner. I can make it bigger or smaller as I need. It'll allow you to flip it, whatever you want to do. And then just a little bit of fun fact about the images here. If you want to crop it, say maybe you've got a host on and you're using Discord to capture and you don't want to get all of Discord, you just want to get their camera, you can crop by holding down the Alt key and then dragging. As you can see here, I'm getting rid of my Frostborn, and you just hold down Alt and you can disappear, or you can make it move without having to know these specific dimensions. If I want to stretch it at all, say maybe I need it to fill a certain space, but it won't fill, then I can just hold down the Shift key and grab it, and that will stretch it. So any way you want to do that, it is Shift and then click and drag to stretch. And if I want to crop it, then you just hold down Alt and I can crop it there. If it wants to grab for me, there we go. And that is how you layer all of your sources. So now, we've got a whole little setup here for setting up a starting soon screen. Maybe you want to add starting soon. You can just go ahead and add some text. Of course, come down here, add text GDI, and we'll say starting soon. Alrighty, all right, that name's already in use. Starting in soon, practice. Come in here, you have this whole box that will allow you to write text. It allows you to change the font. So say you have a different style you want to keep. For example, my favorite style of font that I use for all of my casts and whatnot is going to be this Seago print. So I say okay there, starting soon. And now you have starting soon. You can change the color. Just, of course, go to color. You can select it. I like this pink. Very good. Now we have pink starting soon text. You can make it a gradient. So say I wanted it to be pink and white. Pick that. You can also select the color. So maybe I want it to be, more of my logo colors. Pink and orange. There we go. We can change the gradient here. That's the opacity. You can change the gradient direction down here, not the opacity. So say I want it to be, more pink to orange or orange to pink. However we want to do it, we can change it. If we don't want a gradient, that's cool too. The biggest thing I will advise if you're going to write text on the screen is to do an outline. You just click the outline here. You can make it any color you want. And then I've always preferred to have kind of a thicker outline. 10 works best for me. Again, you can change the color to anything you want. You hit OK. And now our starting soon screen is coming together. We'll have a whole fun little thing. You have your logo, you're starting soon. Maybe you want to put the team logos down here. You could do that. Just have fun with it. Make it whatever you'd like it to do. Make it your own. And then since I just did it, I'm going to go over it very carefully for you guys. Say you're trying to move stuff around, team logos, team names, etc. You can hit this little lock on the corner and it doesn't let you move that anymore. Of course, you can just click the lock again to unlock it, and that will allow you to move it once again. But now when I try to grab stuff in the bottom, you can see here I'm not accidentally grabbing my background. So anything you don't want to move, you can just remove it there. The next thing we'll talk about is adding our second scene. So once again, come to scenes and we'll say this is our game screen. You can just hit OK. We have a new thing here, a new scene all set up. We have the desktop audio, the mic, once again all set to our exact specification, so we only have to enter it the one time, and now we can start adding stuff. I personally like to use Soothsayer, so if you want to once again go down to your sources, you can update that just to maintain what your sources look like. You can go through once again, add an image. Well, the first thing you should add, actually, I take that back. The first thing you should add is a game capture for NGS. So we can call this HOTS, and I believe I already have HOTS in there, so we'll call this HOTS 2.0. Alrighty, and then it'll go through, it'll say capture specific window if we want to set it to, and then you'll have different options here. Now, I don't have Heroes of the Storm open currently, but you would hit Heroes of the Storm, and it'll add the game for you. If you're using the caster resources that were given, the ngs.json file in the caster resources in the NGS Discord, that'll already bring Heroes of the Storm in for you, so you may not have to add that. And I'm actually going to move to the scene collection to show you what that would look like. So if you're using the ngs.json folder, which I really recommend you do if you're just now starting out, it'll import a lot of this stuff for you. So you have, you're starting soon, which we can then customize and make it our own. So this is our NGS. And then once again, say I want to add my logo. We can click it. And then just, I don't know, pick something. There we go. That's our logo. We are Instagram. And you can pick it. You can put team logos down here. Whatever you want to do, you can make it your own. And the last thing I want to talk to you guys about for our source layering is, say I have my logo. I want it to be on every single folder or every single viewing from our scenes. If we just want to add something back in, say, like I said, I want it on the starting student screen, I want it on the in-game screen, the draft screen, whatever, you can come down here to where it says add existing, and you can scroll through to everything you've ever used for images and whatnot. Okay, we'll go to an NGS logo, say, add that, and it should bring it up. It wants to fight me right now, it looks like, but anytime you want to just re-add an image, you can scroll through, pick what you want, add it through, and say, we wanted this Volskaya here for some reason. It'll bring it up without you having to reload it and overwhelming your system. So yeah, just a couple of little things there for you. We've covered our scene collection, we've covered our audio starting soon, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, you want to know anything about the setup of OBS, Studio OBS can be a little bit scary for some folks. You can either just let me or Crushinator know, and we would be more than happy to help you. Season 11, there we go. That's where I was. All right, guys. Hopefully that was informative, so you can get everything set up. The main things that you probably want to have is you want to have your starting soon screen, which is just, like this. This is what I had set up for mine. This is during the free agent combine. You want to have your in-game. So this NGS ticker is also available. The scene transition available to you from NGS, just going to the caster resources. And again, if you need any help, then our casting any of our casters are available to help you. I'm sure if you just at any of them, one of them can probably point you in the right direction of the information. But our head caster, Crushinator, and then myself, the assistant Crushinator, yes, I am the assistant Crushinator, Jinxeekatt, will be able to help you out. Again, you want your starting soon game, you want your in game, you want your draft, and they don't have to be in this order. Mine's kind of out of whack. I should probably move these anyways. You're between games, so you can show everybody what your map selection is, all that kind of stuff, and then you're probably going to want a webcam screen like I have here. Hello, it's me, Jinxeekatt. We're talking about stuff. And then last but not least, your game summary. Those are probably what I would get started with, and then you could add any kind of fancy different types of scenes that you want. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much for watching. Hopefully this wasn't too long-winded and you found it helpful. We appreciate you all very much, and we're really excited for you to be joining our casting team. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.